Hey, you want to see something really scary?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Welcome to Fright Night.
Welcome back to Jump Scare. I'm Betty.
And I'm Shad.
This week we're covering I Don't Understand You.
Call! Italy's calling!
Okay. Here's your itinerary. It should be perfect.
Axel, no parties!
We haven't matched with her yet, so don't get too invested.
Hi!
It's so great to meet you.
Can we see your belly?
Yep.
Wow. You still have your wallet?
It's in my front pocket.
Okay, because there's a lot of pickpockets.
Oh my
here.
God, it's in my front pocket.
Okay, that's what I was trying to be sexy there.
You were not.
Dom, I'd make you a special reservation for your anniversary. Anything at all, call me. And be careful.
Be careful.
I didn't love that. Do you think he meant because I was driving?
Or because we are...
gay. This is the restaurant we're supposed to be at?
Yeah, it's authentic.
I don't understand you. Do you speak any English?
Vino.
I know what that word means. We'll take a whole case if you got it.
Chin chin.
Chin chin.
Cole?
Dom?
Can't see a thing.
There's no power. Oh my God. It was an accident. This is a bad omen. What do we do?
We can do CPR. We took the class.
That was CPR for infants.
I know, so this should be easier. What was that?
Bones?
I heard her?
No. Someone's coming.
What are you doing?
Getting rid of the evidence. Help me.
I knew how important it was for my mother to have you here tonight.
Your mother.
See, you no go till we drink together.
Okay.
Go now.
I've been trying to get a hold of you because the baby's coming.
What? We need to go get our son right now.
You going to be dead.
What? I don't understand you.
You're going to be dead.
I don't want to be dead.
Why not? He's great. It was no offense. He was going to stab you with that knife.
And then he was going to drink that champagne. Accidents happen.
No.
And we have a child coming. And I will not risk our family's life because she tumbled down a flight of stairs.
Oh.
I don't want to do this anymore.
No, this can't be like a thing we start doing in LA.
Yeah.
We had the pleasure of viewing this film last year at the Overlook Film Festival. It was it premiered at South by Southwest. It probably went to 2 other independent film festivals, and then it disappeared off the face of the planet.
Yeah, it kind of went away for a while.
Yeah, it was picked up by Vertical, and it will be released June 6th in select theaters. We had the opportunity of watching it again, and it was even better the second time around.
Yeah.
It is a dark comedy.
Oh, yeah. It's way dark.
It is way dark. I don't know if it's social commentary on Americans, how Americans are when they go to another country.
Oh, I think that's definitely it.
So that can be seen in a negative light. However, you have Nick Kroll from The League and Big Mouth and a plethora of other things who I am obsessed with. And you have Andrew Rannells, which you would remember him from Girls and plenty of other things he's been in. They're both very, also in Big Mouth, does a voice there as well.
He also does a voice on Invincible.
Awesome. So you have these 2 individuals. They are playing a gay couple that are taking a trip to Italy before they find out the news if they're going to be able to adopt a child they had put in. They've
gone through the whole lengthy process.
Yes, the film actually opens up with them doing their
video for
entrance video or
the application video.
The application video. There you go. And this film is funny, at the beginning and lighthearted, ha 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 ha, and then it totally turns around and becomes darker and darker and darker by the minute.
Yeah. When they first, it starts off with a little bit of wacky. They're doing their silly video. They're sniping each other a little bit. It's fun. And when they get to Italy, they meet his dad's best friend. There's a lot of them walking around. And, the beginning of it, this is not spoiling much because it happens at the very beginning. When they get on the plane, as soon as they sit down, blood drips down on the Andrew Rannells. And he's like, what? Who? Why? It's like someone had put raw meat in the overhead storage.
Yeah, like, what the hell? How did that even pass?
Yeah.
And right off the bat, the name, which is a very simplistic name, doesn't really give you that much context of what's going to happen. You can gather, obviously, going in, there's going to be some kind of miscommunication. But the characters experience this miscommunication, like, as soon as they arrive with him being a vegetarian. And they're putting down the plates to eat during a dinner with the father's best friend, and it's a whole mix-up with that. And then from there on, each experience they have where they have to communicate with anyone that is not English speaking, there is like little blurbs here and there,
which, by the way, Google Translate could have saved this whole movie.
Yes, Google Translate could have saved this whole movie. And I'm pretty sure last year, or let's play devil's advocate, let's say this movie came out let's say it's set, because you don't really know exactly what year this is set in. It's modern times, but not...
It could be 2 or 3 years ago.
But I'm sure Google Translate was a thing.
Yeah. Now, they did make sure that they had their phones, one phone was dead, the other was left behind a couple of times. Because, all horror movies now have to account for the cell phone factor, because 90% of horror movies would be solved immediately if everybody had a working cell phone.
Yeah.
It's like the trick on Star Trek. They always said, you've got a spaceship that can do anything, a first officer that's smarter and stronger than everybody, so you got to make sure you take something that takes them out of the fight right away. Otherwise, there's no challenge. Cell phones are just the modern version of that. You got to get rid of them. That way everybody can be on a level playing field with the bad guys.
Now, you have some beautiful scenic, if you're in Italy, you got to get some great shots, which reminds me of one of my favorite films that has anything to do with, like, travel, which is A Trip to Italy. So it has, like, some really nice shots, which is totally... it's like, I guess, when you're watching, like, Midsummer... and, like, it's set in the daytime, but it's horrific.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's all the beauty, because half of the movie, the beginning half, is all the sun, and it's gorgeous, and it's so scenic, and then it becomes dark and dreary and rainy, and the whole tone sets, the environment matches what's going on with these characters.
And the everything is so beautiful when they're first there in Italy. This is one of those things where I'm sure the cinematographer did a good job, but this looks like one of those things where you could just set the camera on the back of a truck and take a beautiful shot, like wherever you were at. It's like, I'm sure the guy worked hard, but at the same time, it looks like one of those things where you just set the camera up, turn it on, and they go, there, gorgeous.
You know what's really funny? There's an overview shot of the car going down, like... someone probably could equate to like Napa Valley, like that kind of like scenic route. And that shot reminds me of that jump scare with the lady that comes out of the end. Yeah, the driving one that's becoming like popular again, which is really hilarious to me because I'm expecting like a lady's face to just start screaming in the middle.
It kind of reminded me of the like where they're driving through there. It's like the Twilight Zone where they're driving on the highway alone and everything, and then it's Albert Brooks and Dan Aykroyd. They're just having their conversation that turns very weird fast. It kind of reminded me of that.
Oh, once they got into the nighttime and it was raining. Yeah, once
the nighttime when it was raining, and it's like, oh, this is going to go bad. I kept waiting for the hitchhiker to come out the first time.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, even down to like the sign that says private property, which is like it's private property. Like, how do you not know that says private property on it? But I don't think they saw the sign.
Yeah,
to
they
play
didn't.
devil's advocate.
And sometimes they just didn't try. Like, vegetarian was like vegetariano. So I'm sure if you said to the Italian waiter, vegetarian, he would figure it out, you know?
Yeah, would he?
They sometimes I feel like that's the American thing. They didn't try.
Yeah, so we have the miscommunication with the waiter, the bellhop, the guy who owns the property that they get stuck, their car gets stuck, like in a ditch, because they had a, it's one of those things. This happens all the time. It's just like something that everyone could relate to, right? You have something already set, okay? You're gonna go meet like a family member, you're gonna visit someone or a friend or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, I made reservations for you to go do this other thing." The part that gets me is when he tells them like, "Oh yeah, I saw your itinerary." So it's like, okay,
then I changed everything on it.
Yeah, so you saw that they're celebrating their anniversary. You saw that I had something, and like he's from the area, so he knows that the restaurant that Nick Kroll chose was like an expensive, like high-end restaurant, like to die for. Then he sends them, and this is the part that kills me. Then he just totally is like, "No, I made reservations for this, this famous woman, and I told her, all about her, and you're all set, everything's already paid for you to go over there." They get there, and that's where obviously all the shenanigans take place. It was for fucking pizza. Yeah. It wasn't like this like classic Italian like meal, that you would find. It was pizza. Mind you, they said the pizza was delicious. To me, it looked like crispy flatbread. I don't want to eat crispy flatbread on my anniversary. I want to eat the fancy fuck food that my husband, has already chosen for us to eat. So that was kind of like, I was expecting there to be more food, but let's get down to the nitty gritty of it all. They end up, they're on someone's property, they're stuck in a ditch. The individual that owns that property goes and takes them to, I guess he just knew, because it's a small town, right? He knew that there was going to be a dinner because the woman has been talking about her guests that were going to be coming to everyone, because everyone knew. So he takes them there. They have no idea what's going on.
They don't even realize it's the actual restaurant. They just think he's dropped them off at a house, maybe his.
Yeah, they have no idea when they get there, and they really don't realize it until they've already talked to her. She's already, spoken to them.
They start seeing pictures on the wall and realize like the name. They see like a newspaper clipping on the wall and realize, oh, this is the lady we're supposed to meet. And now, from there, it goes from just some awkward misunderstandings to this is where you get into the really bad black comedy shit is coming out of the woodwork. Because, man, from the moment they come in that house, it just it goes from a little bit awkward, it goes to 11.
Yeah, so the Cole, which is Andrew Rannells' character, he is a vegetarian, and she puts out a pizza with like sausages on it, and he hasn't eaten meat in like 15 years, so they totally forgot vegetariano, which they literally just learned not like 3 hours before. They
could have just said that to her and she would have left the sausage off, I'm sure.
Yeah, but they don't, and they don't try to communicate that. And Dom, who is
Nick Kroll,
he just tells his husband just to eat it because he doesn't want her to be embarrassed and doesn't want to offend her. So he eats it. Then while that happens, he has to go throw up. He, when she leaves the room, he tries to find a bathroom, and then he happens to stumble upon a room where there's this man that's in an iron lung. He freaks the fuck out.
Yeah, that's still a thing, apparently.
Yeah, he freaks the heck out. He goes back to the husband's like, we got to get the fuck out of here, whatever. Then the lights turn off. And this is where the insanity ensues.
Yeah, now, we're not going to really spoil what happens from here out because, excuse me, it would be a lot to go down that rabbit hole. But, man, this is one of those situations where, again, Google Translate, get that out, start talking to people.
We would not have a movie. And I like a good dark comedy.
Yeah, like I said, this one, there's some things where you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, I see where you would get, I see where you're going, I see where you got to this conclusion, you know. You see how you got to where they're going and where the misunderstanding comes from, but you're like, just try just a little bit harder, please, Nick Kroll, please, because you do not want to do this, but no. And I love that this is one of those movies where every little thing that has happened in the past, there's these little things that they set up earlier in the movie, come in later on. Whether it's picking up a pocket knife, making a phone call, just something that they idly say is happening, like later on it pays off.
Yeah.
And I really always like that in the movies, which is a little detail that you're like, you didn't even think it was going to be important because they didn't call a lot of attention to it. But no, it's very important later.
Now, we did say at the beginning that they were they sent out that they were waiting actually to hear back whether or not they were going to be chosen from the mother that is looking to have her child adopted by a family. And
they've been kind of depressed about this because they got scammed by a previous woman.
Yeah, so she was not pregnant.
She wasn't pregnant at all. She was just scamming them give her money.
And
which sadly happens.
Yeah, which sucks. Like, come on. But so all that happens and they're driving throughout the whole film. You have to keep like reminding yourself because it's just like one like crazy thing after another that their driving forces, especially at certain point. Sorry, I'm a bit under the weather. Excuse me. That they have to. They're doing this for their future kid. You know, they're doing this for the future kid. Whether they get this specific kid or not, they are dying to have a family. They looking forward to their future to have that family, and they're going to do whatever they need to do to get it.
Yeah, and this was supposed to be their, like, you know, this is their kind of like their baby moon before they have the baby. They're going to go, because they're hoping they're going to get the kid, but they're not 100%, but they want to go take this vacation beforehand, because, you know, we all know it's going to be hard to do that afterwards.
Yeah, there's a lot of character development. Even for the other characters, there is a good amount of character development for them. Nona, the cook that they go to meet, and the other people they run into. So you get a good enough, like a meaty, like good enough thing where you do feel something for these characters.
You care about everybody in this, and that's why it makes you cringe so hard when the bad things start happening, because you realize everybody in this movie is essentially a good person, but some bad things happen to them and they get some bad things done. The good people are doing some bad things even though they don't mean to, but you really feel it because you're like, oh my God, don't pay attention a little more, you know? Now Amanda Seyfried plays the woman who they're trying to get the baby from, and she is actually pregnant. They actually even make the comment, can we just see your stomach? Because we are a little gun shy about that.
I give this a solid 3.5 knives.
Yeah, me too. It's a good one. If you like black comedies, you'll definitely love this. If you are a little afraid of movies that have a lot of cringe-worthy moments, this might not be your thing, because there's a lot of them in this.
There is a lot of cringeworthy moments. However, if you are a fan of Nick Kroll or Andrew Rannells, you will definitely love this film. They're very funny in it. They have a great relationship. It's like, are they acting? Because it's just so seamless. They have they just play off one another.
Yeah.
It just seems so natural. And everyone that was involved with the film did a fantastic job.
Yeah, we didn't mention this was written by a couple of guys that have worked together before. It's Daniel, Joeseph, Craig, and Brian Crano. They've worked on a couple of different projects together, and we hope to see them do some more stuff because this was really good.
Yeah, this was really good. I was happy to watch it at the Overlook Film Festival. We've been waiting a whole year. We kind of did a, when we were coming back from Louisiana on our YouTube page, we kind of did a video of us driving back and just a little
talking about all the different
reviews of all the different films that we were able to watch. This was one of them, as I mentioned many times during this episode, because I was really excited to get to watch it again. And this is definitely something that I would own. I would buy this.
Yeah, it's worth a purchase. Although it's getting harder and harder to do that nowadays, since fewer and fewer things get decent releases in physical media.
That's true. Nevertheless, if you happen to be out, this is going to be out in select theaters on June 6th. Keep an eye out for it. Go watch it, and stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.